Hello and welcome back to the Pit Box. My name is Jesse, and I'm joined by my co-host Corey. Corey, I saw this guy get pulled over today, and he was driving the 43 car. What do you say about that?
Oh man. Woo, buddy. Oh man, I just got bailed out for petty theft. Barely made it to the show. Yee.
So on today's show, we're going to be talking NASCAR's alleged part shortages on the Next Gen car, new faces, new places, and the Daytona test. So let's get into it. The first topic, rumor in the garage, is that there's a parts shortage on a lot of the Next Gen pieces. Richard Childress was quoted as saying they only have 2 cars per number right now, and he's hoping that they'll have 3, hopefully 4 by the start. NASCAR has previously said that each car number will have 5 cars to start the season. So what level of concern do you have with one of the most recognizable names in the garage coming out with a statement like that?
You can't not be concerned about it, right? You have to have some worry about how the season's going to go. Is this going to be a 36-week long problem, or is it going to just be a problem starting the season and the shortages will dampen and the teams will get more cars? Because I don't think the drivers are going to care, dude. I mean, it's going to be hard to coach a driver and say, hey, look, shelves are empty, but you need to back off that throttle just a little bit.
Yeah, I agree, especially for the Daytona 500. I mean, Austin Dillon was asked by Bob Popkers about that quote from his grandfather, and Austin said, yeah, we've got a part shortage, and you're probably going to see, drivers drive a little cautiously during the speed weeks. But he said when it comes to the 500, he said, we're going to go all out. We're not going to hold back anything.
Yeah.
Now, there's been other drivers, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. You can't, I don't care what you tell a driver. That'd be the equivalent of saying, hey, if Aaron Rodgers makes a Super Bowl, that'd be the equivalent of saying, hey, Aaron, take it a little easy, man. We're running a little low on quarterbacks, bud. We need to make sure we have you for next year.
Yeah, we're going to sit you out a few games during the regular season. Playoff spot don't matter. Maybe sit out the wild card round. We'll get you back next time. Yeah, I agree. No, I think the clash at Daytona might be, not at Daytona, I apologize, at
the Coliseum.
The Coliseum, yeah, sorry, I had a brain
fart over there.
It happens often. So the clash at the Coliseum, I could see a lot of guys taking it easy, not really wanting to mess up too many fenders and stuff, and it's not going to take messing up cars at the Coliseum to put on a good show. It's just going to take cars getting in close quarters, moving somebody up out of the groove a little bit, and that's going to happen.
For sure. I don't know if our viewers or fans have watched or seen the pictures of this track, but it is wicked small. I mean, it looks like a go-kart track at Incredible Pizza. I mean, this thing.
And I almost question why they would even put an inside wall in the corners. That unless it's like really inside wall, because they're going to be up against it, and you're not going to be able to see the cars. I fear from the camera angles.
That's true.
The way they are, you're not going to see the numbers or anything because they're running so low. Because they have to have enough lane to let them go at least 2 wide, plus another groove to get moved out of the way. Even
if you don't put the wall there, then you got you leave too much room for dive bombing and I think the point of this clash has been, to me at least, apparent that they want a show. This is not anything about competition or I don't even know if there's. I guess bragging rights within the drivers, but this is really just going to be like a WWE event for NASCAR. Like, hey, here's I think 23 cars are going to make the final race. Go out there,
Yeah.
have some fun, put on a show for these
And let's
people in
see
Los
what you can
Angeles,
do.
and let's have some fun. Get the NASCAR season kicked off with a bang.
Absolutely. And so going back to the parts shortages, Chris Gabehart, crew chief for Denny Hamlin, I'm going to get the direct quote here. When responding to Bob Proctor's question about alleged parts shortages hampering the garage, he says, "We will adapt to the circumstances. We learned that in 2021, if nothing else. So we will be fine." That's Chris Gabehart, crew chief of the 11 for Denny Hamlin, what he had to say.
Yeah, I think that he's not going to go on air saying the shop's on fire. We don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I don't think he's not going to voice concern over this yet. I think see how the clash goes, see how practice. I mean, everybody knows stuff can go wrong at practice at Daytona too. See how many cars they have left going into the season after Daytona, and then I think you might see some tones change within the on pit road.
Yeah, and just one more thing, the 3 races after Daytona is the West Coast swing. So if you've only got 3 or 4 cars going into the season and you lose one in speed weeks, maybe you have to pull a backup car out or one of the other ones out of the stable, and you lose one in the 500, you're down 2 of your 3 or 4 cars.
Good.
And you're going out to the West Coast for 3 races, so you could get put behind the 8 ball real fast if you're not careful here in the first part of the season between the Clash and the 500. So
yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to the teams, as always, making this work. They figure it out, and I don't think this will be any different. I mean, they show up with a car with a Band-Aid on the side of it, whatever it takes, they're going to get the car out there and race. But all right, guys, let's drop the jack, take a lap around, and we'll do another 4-tire and fuel topic for you. New faces and new places. What drivers are going where for 2022? Oh, man, Jesse, we got a list here, bud. Let me run this down for you real quick. Ross Chastain going to Trackhouse, the Watermelon Man. Austin Cindric almost got another Xfinity title last year, going to Team Penske as a rookie, taking over for Brad Keselowski, who's going to the all-new team Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing. Harrison Burton will be a rookie for the Wood Brothers.
Yes.
Justin Haley to Colleague Racing. Todd Gilliland will be a rookie for Front Row Motorsports. Ty Dillon will be going to the newly branded Petty GMS Motorsports. And, of course, Kurt Busch to 23XI. What do you think, buddy? Who are you most excited to see out of this list?
Whew. Man, that's a list there. I think this is the biggest year in NASCAR that I can remember as a fan of 15, 20 years. Maybe not quite 20.
Yeah,
I'd only
for sure.
been young, but still. New faces, new drivers, new places. I mean, this is going to be a year to watch for all these guys. The one that I'm looking forward to seeing most, though, is going to be Austin Cindric in that 2 car. We've seen how good Brad Keselowski has been over the last decade or so in that 2 car. Won the 2012 NASCAR championship and, has been a perennial contender ever since then. And so Austin Cindric, I think he's one of the most qualified rookies we've had in a long time. I mean, you look back to Chase Briscoe last year, who had a similar path towards Cup that that Cindric has, but Cindric's had a lot more success. He won the Xfinity Championship last year, could have won this year besides a bump and run in Phoenix. 13 wins in the last 5 seasons that he's been in Xfinity, has really come on the last 3, getting 11 of those 13.
Wow.
He's going to be the one to watch, I think.
Well, you're a regular statistician over there, buddy.
I do my best.
In class today, we have 13 wins, and he's going to be racing for a great team. And I'm snoozing. No, I'm kidding. No, man. Yeah, I'm just messing with you. Yeah, Cindric, man. He proved himself in Xfinity. He's going to be, and Cindric's and all these guys, I mean, what a year to be a rookie. A new car. Everything's going to be equal. So, I mean, they're going to have just as much experience as the veterans with these things. So, I think teams, engineers are really going to play a big freaking role in who comes out on top on this list. But
Yeah.
for me, when I look at this list again, obviously I like Kurt Busch. He's put on some great shows, especially I think it was last year or the year before that it was Kurt and Kyle battling at Kentucky. That was a great
Yeah, I
one.
think 2020. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't help but be excited for Ross Chastain, man.
Yeah.
He's energetic. He's got a hell of a personality for being a watermelon guy. You know, you hear the term watermelon man, and you're like, huh? And it's like this guy used to be, or he still is, I guess,
A
in his spare
watermelon
time,
farmer.
a
Yeah.
watermelon farmer, and now he's out here on the freaking racetrack tearing it up. I mean, I look at his stats, and there's not, compared to what your guy did in Xfinity, there's not much to compare. But when you look at live footage of a race and see how hard he drives that car, I think with Trackhouse being a new team, they're not going to say, "Hey, take care of our cars." Somebody, "Hey, we got money. Let's go out here. You know, put the hammer down. As long as we got the cars." Yeah. Mm-hmm. Maturity is big in the sport. That's right. Yep. Yeah. Hey, you can't go wrong being working with the dinger. I mean, he's got a hit. That dude has forever got a fire underneath him when it comes to being behind the wheel of a race car. And Haley will learn a lot from that guy. And that's going to be the key with these rookies is you've got the new tire, wider, not as tall. The line that the so-called line between in control and wrecking is smaller. They've said that multiple times. So these rookies, they're gonna have a challenge whenever you get to this 670 package. You know, it's not gonna be a 550 wide open all the way around. So I know in Xfinity Series and all that, they're gonna have some throttle control experience, but you got the rack and pinion, and you've got what else was it? The independent rear suspension. Right. So does that give the rookies an advantage? How many times you hear that?
Corey, some drafting this week. Did you learn anything? What can we take away from this?
Cars go fast, buddy.
Especially a bunch of them in a
Hey,
line.
yeah, let me tell you, I was talking to you before the show about watching these highlights, and I was like, man, Daytona 500 for me personally has always been prior to stage racing. It's a hard race to watch all the way through because just like in all sports, all different forms, there's some form of strategy at all points when it comes to the top level of these things. And to watch 400 miles prior to stages,
Yeah.
you know, not a lot would happen usually because they're waiting to save their stuff for the finale to get the big checker flag.
Right. Yeah.
But watching these highlights, man, these cars, I saw Denny Hamlin and I think Joey Logano, I think we're doing some bump drafting, and they borderline, I don't know if it'll hold, but it almost looked like you could tandem your way ahead of the pack, at least for a minute.
Yeah.
And that was something I hadn't seen in a while. So between that and then watching some of the blocks I seen and how, those drivers, like I said earlier in the show, they don't look all that concerned about a car shortage.
Yeah. And, Denny came out and said, you can tandem for a little while. Brad said, yeah, but I don't think it's something that you're going to be able to do during a race just because it was optimal temperatures and all of those fluctuation things and things like that you take into account in a race car that the fan doesn't necessarily see on TV or on YouTube in this case. But there was definitely some big runs. I mean, NASCAR put out an in-car footage of the Roush Fenway Keselowski RFK racing. Boy, that's going to take some getting used to, man. Got to think about that for a while.
It's a mouthful.
So they put out some in-car camera of that, and there's some big runs that are generated, you know. But then you had Dale Jr. come out at the same time and say it's not a very big run. You can't do a lot with it. So I guess we're going to have to, again, wait and see.
Is that driver conservation, though? I mean, is Dale Jr. going to go test for Hendrick and give it everything he's got, or is he going to go and just try to get what data he can safely? You know what I mean?
Right.
He's made it clear. If you listen to his show, he has a real itch to race, but he's also...
It's not to race in packs like that, and he made that clear.
He's made it clear that he's not here for the riskiness.
He's 48 years old. He's got two daughters.
He knows his age, man. He's about to get that retirement discount if he's not careful here pretty soon.
Yeah, he's got that HOF jacket on here in a couple weeks, going to that Hall of Fame, baby.
Oh, man.
So
I tell you, who's the field this year? Red
Farmer and Mike Stefanski.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Who makes me think of Monsters Inc., but Mike Stefanski. Mike Wazowski, yeah. But on that note, I am super glad.
Folks, you guys know we got kids now. If you didn't before, you know we both have kids. Good Lord.
Oh, no, I wasn't. My kids never watched that movie. That's for me. I watched that movie for my enjoyment. But
for our local fans here, though, fingers crossed that one of these years they will freaking vote in old Larry Phillips.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows us personally knows where we're from. Larry Phillips holds a special place in our childhood, and Terry Phillips as well. But hopefully one of these years Larry gets in.
Man, he's already in Missouri Hall of Fame, Racing Hall of Fame, as he should be.
Yep.
And he wasn't a NASCAR driver, but definitely one of the world-class drivers. You know, guys like Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin give Larry Phillips a lot of credit on where they got to their careers. And, you know, like you said, he had a big impact on our lives. Terry more so than Larry. But cool stories there. And congratulations to everybody going in the Hall of Fame. So let's get to our next topic here. We're going to drop the jack on 2 tires. We're going to do another lap. We're going to come back for fuel only.
Go, 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 go.
All right. So, Corey, we've got Jimmie going full-time in IndyCar, including the ovals, man. What are you looking forward to?
Man, anytime I hear Jimmie in the news, I get excited, good or bad. Not a NASCAR week goes by that I don't miss seeing him on the track. So obviously my thoughts are a little biased. Obviously,
as are mine.
He's not going to do this, man, if he doesn't think he can. So do I think he's going to win this deal? I hope so. I really do. With the team he's got, with Chip and all the great drivers on that team, I think he can do it. And he's definitely shown with 7 NASCAR freaking titles, 5 in a row, that he's motivated and can be driven enough to make that happen. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be it's great for IndyCar. I mean, I read somewhere a while back that IndyCar's ratings went up big time, not just because of JJ, but I know he played a big factor with all the fans that he did bring to IndyCar. So it's great all around. It's great for JJ fans, great for IndyCar, great for NASCAR to show that these guys aren't afraid to go try new things, even in your freaking 40s. So I think I'm optimistic.
Yeah, and optimistic's the right word. So we can just hope the best for Jimmie and IndyCar in general. You know, we'll see if he improves on last year, which was not impressive. He's really kind of running a lap down and maintaining pace. I guess if that's impressive, but not in my book.
Well, at the end,
Jimmie
I think
Johnson,
he got
impressive.
No, but I mean, for someone that's zero experience.
This is true. Yeah.
He did progress. I thought it would be a little more, but you also got to realize it's
his first time.
Hard for a driver to completely change their way of how they drive. Like, these things go in way deeper.
Well, NASCAR drivers are going to have to do that this year. If they don't, there might be watching next year.
Yes, it's gonna
So,
be it's gonna be exciting. I'll be definitely trying to tune into as many as I can, watching him, see how he does, especially at the ovals,
yeah.
because I know it's a little it's kind of funny, but on iRacing, if you're ever on it
Here
or
we
you
go.
race it, if you've ever done it and you go do an IndyCar on an oval, it's insane. I don't know how these guys strap into this thing and go 220 plus miles an hour on the absolute edge. The wrecks are nasty. I mean, these guys are just crazy, but they put on a hell of a show.
Well, and on going as fast as you possibly can and being hellacious speed, let's, our last topic of the day.
Yeah.
Buddy, go ahead. Take it away.
Hey, man, listen, this is something that personally fascinates me. I hope some of you guys follow F1 enough to know a little bit about what's going on, but at the end of the 2021 season, just a few weeks back, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen were going at it. Caution, there's a wreck with, I don't remember, just a handful of laps to go, if that. And normal rules would state that A, you either leave all the lap cars where they are, or B, you have to let them all unlap themselves, and then you go green the following lap, which all normal F1 protocol situations stated that race should have ended under yellow.
Unless they red flagged.
But right.
Which they didn't.
And they didn't. So obviously this is highly, highly talked about. Lots of controversy here. Max Verstappen, freaking awesome driver. He kicked some serious butt this year.
Yeah.
Definitely a deserving champion.
For sure.
But as we all know, professional sports, man, you don't, just because you deserve it, don't mean you get it.
Don't mean you earned it.
Lewis Hamilton and F1 came out in the second half of the season and performed, and I think they were obviously the better team at the last race of the year.
Yeah, clearly.
And so, to sum that up, Lewis Hamilton there's within his circle have said that he is waiting the results, basically, of the investigation into this whole controversy to determine if he's even going to be freaking back next year.
Yeah, crazy, man.
What you think about that, bud?
I think that would be the ultimate mic drop if they don't come out with some findings and make some changes that Sir Lewis finds satisfactory, and you say deuces, and they lose their biggest star that they've had in a generation because of that.
Yeah,
that's going to take some,
right?
Yeah, that's going to take some fans away too, man. I mean, it's already pretty divisive, so I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know what the FIA is going to determine. I don't know what they could determine to make things right. I mean, they can't take the championship away. They can't award Lewis a commemorative championship, 8th title. So what's the compromise here? What is Lewis looking for, I guess, is the question that I have. But yeah, I mean, it's fascinating every time I see an article about it. Lewis hasn't spoken since his brief post-race TV interview publicly about this. His brothers come out and
that's
said
what
that.
threw me off, man. He was very gracious if you watch the end of that to Max. So he understood that Max just
had
raced.
nothing to do with it. Yeah,
he went green flag racing. He had better tires and he beat Lewis. Like everybody watching that race knew was going to happen when they decided to go green. And they only let the people in between Lewis and Max get their lap back, and then they didn't even wait till the next lap. So it's a whole crazy thing.
Well, and we're not far away from off-season testing for F1. So some of it's already started with the drivers coming to new teams, being able to get in the new cars. George Russell, one of them, are with Mercedes now. And I tell you, does what happens? I saw on F1's Twitter page, they put out the driver lineup for 2022, and they had Lewis Hamilton with Mercedes, but he's not responded to personal text messages from the new FIA director. So I don't know how confident they can be in that graphic given his radio silence. Now, he may just be doing this to get time away from people like you and me talking about it and doesn't want to hear it, and maybe has been.
Hey, I'm on Sir Lewis's side here, but I am all in on Lewis. Max, like I said, nothing against him. He had a great drive. I love Red Bull team. Their boss man over there is a cool guy, but circumstantially, based on what I saw, Lewis Hamilton should be an 8-time champion, and he's not, and he's upset about it,
and he should,
rightfully so. And we not everybody, but I personally saw George Russell substitute and kick some tail. I thought he was going to win the thing if it wasn't for, I think, a pit road or a strategy error. I think maybe is what cost it. I don't remember either, I think it had something to do with pit road. But anyway, he's going to come in here, and this guy's going to be young and hungry. And Lewis is on he's on hole 18 with this thing, man. So I'll be we'll be sure to touch base back with this on an upcoming show. Let you guys know what ends up happening. As soon as we know, it'll be on the show.
Yep. And a lot of other Formula One topics. I've got some running through my mind right now. So, on that note, let us know what you think down in the comments below. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Tell us what kind of questions you want to hear on the show. What kind of topics do you want us to debate about? Who do you want us to talk about? What drivers are you most looking forward to in the next gen car? The new faces, new places, or just who's your favorite driver? Let us know down in the comments below. We want to thank you for joining us here on the Pit Box, and we're going to see you next time. For Jesse and Corey, have a good night, guys.
Later.